boy!
And now,
Laugh all you want. I'm the one who's gonna be on TV.
from TTR Studios,
I can't quite remember how that one goes. I gotta admit, I'm a little high.
No, Biggie, I'm cool.
it's Lucdogg in the morning.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Skater D.
Hey, I'm John Charles Meyer, producer of Dave Made a Maze.
Hey, what's up? This is Scott Ladotti, author of Play the Devil, and you are listening to Lucdogg.
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 This is Andy fucking Cruz from SiriusXM 415, and you're listening to Lucdogg in the morning.
#1 podcast in the world. Yeah, boy.
March Madness is upon us. It's the week you've been waiting for all year. Sports fans are going nuts. Nobody's working. Everybody's at the bar. Let's go! So welcome to the show, my wonderful friends. How are we feeling on a fantastic Wednesday? It's March Madness, and everybody's pumped. Belly Matt LaBelle from right here at TTR Studios. How are you, bud?
I'm fantastic because of all the teams that won yesterday, it's the Radford Highlanders that you got to keep track of, folks.
Your GD right, you
they
do.
Won.
Red and white, baby, all day. Belly went to Radford. He's super excited. So did Matty Potts from the Santa Monica newsroom. Hello, my friend.
Greetings and salutations. I went, but did not graduate. Went to the inning.
You went and you had a cup of coffee there. That's no big deal.
I went, I dropped out, and I actually went back because I didn't drop out good enough the first time, so I dropped out a second time.
You know, just to do it right. Make sure you got it all out of your way.
Heard that story before at the Radford.
Yes, Radford's seen many of those. So has my alma mater, East Carolina University. We did want to do a little bit on Stephen Hawking today, a little tribute, because obviously sad news. I'm going across all your timelines. He's passed away.
Timelines is a good word for it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, he's just been pretty influential. But it got us talking about like, what did he do? Like, I hate asking that question, but did he like discover something? He was a physicist, right? And then Belly and I started talking. So we're gonna just kind of go over some Stephen Hawking facts, just because I feel like, you know, he deserves it. I mean, that dude was a huge contributor to the world, and yeah, he's no longer with us. So sad day for that. But we are a fun show here, so we'll try to do this in the best way we can with a smile on our face. And, of course, you're listening on TTR Studios and YouTube and any podcast place you want. So thank you guys for joining us, and let's get right to it because I got something to get off my chest here. I have a story. See, Potts, here's the problem. I have like 7 stories to tell, and I really feel like only maybe one of them is suitable for air. I know that. Okay?
That's,
yeah.
You're being what we call a cock tease right now.
I know it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be like the girl who is just kind of like slowly just removing one article at a time. Yeah, excuse me. I have a gem of a story. It's the most embarrassing thing I've ever done.
It was,
and it involves Belly. And I am a little bit like so embarrassed to tell it that I really don't want it living on the internet. But man, in the sense of good radio, this is the best I got.
Let's do it.
So we'll do that at the end. Let's get into March Madness.
Again with the cock tease.
Yeah, I mean, I got to do it because I got to, listen, Potts, I got to figure out a way to tell this because there's really no way to tell this story in which I come out looking good.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I'm going to come out looking like such an asshole. And I just, I'm ashamed of it. But I am also the kind of guy, this is very therapeutic for me. That's why I like doing
Potts
this
may
stuff.
agree with what you did.
Potts may really put a fist in the air and say, yeah, baby, you should have done that.
Yeah.
You never know. I like to throw a curveball every now and then, but I definitely can't wait to hear the story.
Well, Potts, I don't know about you, but like I'm the kind of guy that like I'll crap my pants and I'll have to tell everybody about it just because I can't sit on something like that.
I mean, last week I told the story about how I pissed myself because I got so high one time in high school. Right. So trust me, I get it. Anything for good content, I'm all in.
At the expense of yourself. Unfortunately, for the expense of others, we have to avoid certain stories.
Which is what brings us to Wingman Wednesday. Really good good point, Belly, because Belly and I have had some interesting happenings over here at TTR Studios when it comes to lady friends and just some personal stuff. And you kind of need a second ear for these things. And he's been really good for me because I am all over the place. And he's doing a great job of just kind of keeping me straight.
I produce Lucio's life now.
He pretty much runs my life now. But there was also a story that he wanted to tell today that we were discussing yesterday, and I was like, you can't tell that.
Yeah.
And I think, Potts, the rule is if the person you're telling the story about is going to hear this and be upset, then you can't tell it on air.
Well, sure, of course. I mean, you want to be respectful or at least tell the story in a way to where it won't hurt someone's feelings. Yeah, I mean.
But don't you ever have that thought like, but do they listen to the show, though? Maybe they don't listen. It's not that big of a deal. And it's like, but if they did.
But every time you've said that, they definitely listen that day.
Oh, I've had that issue with this show a couple times already where, I mean, I've had to do damage control.
It's part of my sell game. Like, I can't sell myself without selling the show. So if I sell the show, I'm going to show them how to like and subscribe, because the more likes and subscribes you put on our page, you can find all that information now scrolling at the bottom of your page, by the way. You can find us anytime on ttrstudios.com.
Very nicely done, Belly.
Well, it's easy. It's very easy to forget that people do, I guess, actually listen to this show. Like when we're sitting here shooting the shit and, I get so tempted to let go of a little tidbit that could have a backlash. It's a really tempting, it's just like, it's so hard to not say stuff. And it's very easy to forget.
All right. So then let's just give the audience.
We're broadcasting live.
Right. Yeah. It's hard because we make this feel like it's a conversation with your friends, but really it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm. We know we have certain places that we need to hit. And since I feel like if I was a listener right now, I would really be about to turn it off because we're just teasing.
I was going to say, are there any stories we can't tell?
So I'll just go ahead and tell it now. I'll tell it now. We need some payoff. Belly stepped in my puke.
What? That's the end of the story.
That's the end of the story.
You tell the punchline and then you go back and
we're
tell
gonna
the whole
Tarantino.
Joke. Okay.
Tarantino again.
Well,
man,
that was the punchline. So what's the story?
So a couple days ago, we talked about how my car was towed. Right?
Right. Yep.
It's very obvious, since it was towed out of a reserved spot, that person towed me. Correct?
Sure.
That person is a neighbor of mine, and I was
definitely not a listener.
Well, definitely not a listener.
Yeah.
But
we can say whatever we want. They're not listening.
No. That's against the rule we just said. Even if they did hear this, I have no problem with them hearing this because it's not like I went out of my way to do this, but I timed it so that I got a little bit of revenge. So here's what happened. She towed my car. She did it like an asshole. I mean, we're 3 houses. Like, just leave a note. Call me. Whatever. I'm right here. You're going to tow me and cost me $160? It was $210 until I got the apartment complex to take $50 off the bill because I didn't see any signs anywhere at all to find my car. I had to wait an overnight fee. So they took that off. $210 this girl cost me. Really, it ended up being $160, and I am furious. I'm furious. Now, I'm not the kind of person who believes in karma and stuff like that. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to get anybody in trouble with their jobs. I don't want anybody to feel any pain. But I did want to just kind of dig at her a little bit. You know what I mean? I was like trying to like how could I get like some sort of revenge here and make her feel annoyed, just annoyed for a day or something. And I'm, honestly, before I tell any more of this story, the answer is don't do that, because no matter what you do, you're going down to her level now, and you're gonna, if you have any kind of sense of goodness in you, you're gonna feel guilty about it at the end of the day.
And I mean, this is where you are just such a better person than me, because I'm all about, I hate this person. Let's figure out how to fuck. Like I told you, I would have put a bumper sticker on the hood of their car.
Okay.
I would have egged their car.
I think she would have preferred both of those as to what I did.
True.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's get to it. Let's go.
So
Fast
I'm
forward.
coming home I get an Uber home, and I had spent a night at the bar. And I realized that this is, this lives on the internet. This is my worst moment, okay? So I appreciate you guys listening, and that's why I do this for you, but this is my most embarrassing moment. I started feeling in the Uber like some acid reflux, and I was just like, oh, that's uncomfortable. Oh, that's uncomfortable. Oh, I feel like I need to kind of throw up almost. I was not choking it down, but I mean, I was really it was hurting me. And then I got out of the Uber and he left and it hit me again where I was like, oh, this is happening. And at the same time, I realized, oh, I'm right in front of her parking spot.
Oh, I love where this story's going. If you, let me
You already
stop
know
you.
where it's going.
If this story goes anywhere other than where I think it's gonna go, I'm gonna be real pissed. This story better end where I think it's gonna end.
So I decided, in the 3 seconds that this is all happening, of oh crap, I need to throw up, and oh wow, look what the perfect location I'm in. Yeah, I launched right next to her driver's side door.
And we'll give you that. All right, Luch, you deserve it, buddy. That is touchdown worthy.
But I feel terrible about it. I feel awful because the truth is, when I came, I mean, it's not like I set out to do this. It just all kind of happened at once, and it was like this perfect moment of, this isn't going to hurt her. It's not going to get her in trouble. It's not going to get her fired. It's not going to affect her life. It's just going to be a little annoying for about a day.
Let's see what the listeners think. Listeners?
Oh, wow. The live call. Okay.
Dude, you're getting a standing O right now.
Okay.
Standing O. Very
I thought I was going to get crushed.
I appreciate the effort, except for one problem.
No,
so now the problem is...
How could you think that I would not love that story?
I knew you'd love that story.
Well, if you like that, then you'll love how it ends, because if you forgot how we Tarantino'd this...
I stepped in it.
Belly's coming home later at night, and he decides to pick
out of 15 cars that he could have walked through. He picks these 2 cars to walk in between and just splat.
Oh, man.
So it was Saturday night, and I closed the bar. So as you know, on Saturday, we moved our clocks forward at 2 a.m. here on the East Coast to 3 a.m. So I'm at the bar working, and at 2 a.m., it jumps to 3 a.m. Great. So I get home around 4:15 in the morning was the time. I'm walking past this car, and honestly, here's what I'm going to tell you. I was walking past this car with the thought I would never do it. With the thought I had my key in hand to walk up and unlock my door. With the thought that said, meh, I could key this car, but I won't.
That's how much we hate this girl for just being an ass. And also, it's not just the fact that she told me. She came out. Bella and I were going to the grocery store. Potts, I know I'm going to you in 2 seconds. Belly and I went out randomly one day to go to the grocery store, and she also was walking out at the same time and was literally talking shit under her breath to a car that was parked out loud to a car that was parked in her spot. You're lucky I didn't fucking tow you, motherfucker. I mean, this girl is just angry at the world.
Is she a bitter old lady? Like, what's
she
her
is
age?
like a 26-year-old purple hair meth addict looking person.
Okay, I was going to say that, but
she's so bitter at such a young age.
She's also, here's the other thing, Potts. One other tidbit about this.
Potts is dying
her
again.
license plate is not from Virginia.
No, it's Mississippi.
It's Mississippi. So I think if you don't pay taxes in this county, you can't reserve a spot in this county. So.
Or tow me.
Oh, is that the new rule?
Should be.
Yeah, I pay a damn lot of taxes for personal property tax in this county. I'm not... If you don't pay them, you can't reserve a spot in this county.
Boom.
Fuck off.
Boom.
What is the here? I've said what my level is. I would do bumper sticker. What is the level of damage that you would personally do to this woman's car?
None, and that's
the thing
none.
about King. Look, I've had my car keyed. To me, that's a very uncreative way of destroying something.
That's fucked up, dude. You don't do that. I don't care if you puke in front of my. Okay, that's disgusting.
Right.
But it's not going to financially cause you any harm. I don't want to cause anyone any harm. That's why Belly had the thought, but he's not a crazy person. He's not an asshole.
No,
and he would never do it. But
Belly's not a car keyer.
No,
not a car keyer.
None of us are, honestly. I don't even think you would do it. But I mean, like, what is I thought about.
I told you I would not do it. I would put like a bumper sticker on the car or something, and put "Do not park here again." Or I've left just notes on their dashboard saying, "Hey, like really, really bad notes, like with curse words and saying you suck at life." But at the end of the day, like you said, I mean, I might want to ruin their day, but I'm not trying to ruin their bank account, or I'm not,
or their livelihood. You don't want to go after somebody's job. You don't want to do things like calling them at work and pretending you're an ex-boyfriend, or like that would be terrible. Like that's not. We don't want to mess with anyone. Just wanted to get a little dig at you, and it just I wasn't. Go ahead.
No, and I mean, to take like a very Luch perspective on life, if you really want to get into it, like you don't know what this person's going on in this person's life. You don't know. Maybe they had to park there because there was someone's dying inside and they ran inside. Who knows?
I mean, her mom could have cancer. Like you don't know what's going on, and so it's very easy to just be like this motherfucker. But
I think it's just like you want to train yourself to not always assume the worst, which I'm saying out loud. So hopefully I practice that myself because it's so
I love
easy to. But Oh, what was it? On a side note, what? Because you had said something that got me.
Are you taking
Damn it,
notes
I
over there?
forgot.
Wow, that's awesome. Look at Potts. No, but that's what happened, and I just wanted.
Oh, that's. I was sorry. On a side note, so you were talking about daylight savings time. Can I ask what is the point of daylight savings time?
Before we get off of that, yes, that's a great point because we just had this discussion. We need to do away with it. But can I just end this by saying, first of all, I'm sorry to the girl if she's listening. I am.
You're still saying sorry.
Nope,
oh my god.
Because I want everybody to understand this. I felt no better afterwards.
Oh, and by the way,
I felt no better afterwards. Right? I want to make sure everybody understands this. If you're taking my opinion, if you like what we do and the sensibilities of this show, you probably like where we're coming from.
Yep.
I don't feel any better. In fact, I feel worse. I feel stupid for doing it. I'm better than that, and now I feel like I'm down at her level, and that's something I'm trying to learn from. So it's a funny story, but dude, come on, we're better than that.
And I will say, when I did step in, and I thought immediately, God damn it, Luch.
Potts, when he came out, when he came out the following morning,
first thing
he said, question. Did you vomit in front of that girl's car yesterday?
Yes.
Because I stepped in it. So yeah, daylight
awesome
savings time. Why are daylight saving time?
Daylight saving time.
If you play HQ, you know that. It was a question. Daylight saving time. Why the hell do we do it? We're one of only 3 countries that do it.
Let's find out. But
because Belly was railing off on it, Potts.
It's something to do with like farmers. There's like 3 farmers left in the country that has something to do with when they wake up and trading hours and something. So, but
if in the fall they just set their alarms earlier instead of the rest of us,
why would you? How many? What percentage of people are farmers in the country? Like, why are we all catering to them?
Not only that, but like with all the GMOs, can't we just like manufacture corn that can sleep in an extra hour? I don't really understand why they need to wake up so early. Like,
corn's got a lot of shit to do, man.
Yeah, I mean, we can make this corn 20 feet big to feed 300 people, but we have to wake up an hour earlier every other 6 months or something. I don't really get it.
So during the summertime, I actually appreciate the earlier time. So for us here, I think we'd rather it be the daylight saving time where it is the 6 o'clock hour and it's 7 o'clock hour and the sun still is a little bit out. I'm sure on the East Coast you get a little more sunlight than we do, but...
I got texters writing in all over the place over the last story. I mean, I'm trying to stick it with daylight savings time, but I've got had my neighbor hit and run my car 3 times and caught them the 3rd time. Holy shit. They only took responsibility on the time they got caught, so I peed on the driver's side of the car.
I've done that in college.
Yes, texters.
That's fine. That's acceptable.
Would you rather that somebody throw up on the ground so that you have to either step over it or at least see it, or would you rather, like in front of your door, or would you rather they pee on your door? I'd rather the throw up. Don't touch my car, man.
Yeah. I've peed on a car.
Would you throw up on someone's car?
No. I mean,
because when that dries, that paint job is gone.
Especially if you put it right on the front where the air intake is.
Right.
Oh, no. This is just, come on, people are eating breakfast here. And then actually, speaking of food, I got another text that I don't understand. So maybe you guys can help me. Is this something I'm not remembering from a show? It says, whenever I have burgers and fries, I always eat all the fries first, then eat my burger. I blame it on high school and friends eating my fries.
No, it's just someone who eats all their fries first.
Did we talk about that? Where is that coming from?
I feel like we were talking about eating... I don't remember.
Who the hell knows? But you don't eat fries first. You can't eat the fries first.
I'm understanding his or her reasoning for this because they're eating all the fries so that no one else can steal their fries.
Oh, fries in high school are like cigarettes in jail.
So speaking of, will you if you have like mashed potatoes, steak, and corn, how are you eating? Will you let the 3 things touch each other on the plate?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I couldn't care less. I don't know why people care about that.
So you would have, and on a fork you would have a bite of like, because obviously only psychopaths don't put up some mashed potatoes on the same bite of steak, right? I mean, you have to have like.
I don't know if you knew this about me, Pods.
Okay, so no, you won't do that.
I don't, but Belly seems that he's got something going on.
One of my favorite meals of all time is shepherd's pie,
which is all of it mashed up together. I personally,
but that's being served as a pie. To me, that's totally different. If you have a plate with steak, mashed potatoes, and corn, how are you eating that plate?
And that leads perfectly into what today is.
I put it all together in one bite.
So I don't really like to scoop. I want to taste it kind of as it is. Like the steak was prepared to taste a certain way. I want to taste that steak. And
some people are very anal about that.
Right? Not
very.
in an anal way. Like, I'm not going to freak out if stuff touches it. You would think I would, being that I'm very weird and fucking just have my tendencies. But, nah, I really don't care about that. But I definitely, if it's a plate of food, I go randomly around the order. Like, I go a little bit of steak, a little bit of mashed potatoes, a little bit of the green beans, but I don't eat one at a time.
Okay.
Like to completion.
That's
However,
no, but you don't dip your steak into your mashed potatoes.
No, I don't. But what I'm saying is,
you don't put your veggies in a mashed potatoes bite.
Typically not.
See, he doesn't. He's together. He's not a food toucher.
No, I don't care if they touch, but I don't mix them. But hold on.
Please.
What I'm trying to say is, he mixes it together. What I'm trying to say is, I don't eat all of the steak and then all of the mashed potatoes and then all of the green beans. But if
that's nuts. Yeah.
But if I'm eating fast food, I do that. I do not touch a fry until the burger's done. And I think this person doesn't touch the burger until the fries are done.
Fries have a hard time even getting home for me.
It's weird.
Like, I'm driving and I'm like, fry. By the time I get home, I can't.
Of Belly's room.
He's like, damn it! I should have ordered 2 medium.
No joke.
fries.
I went to Chick-fil-A the other day. I ordered just a fry and a chicken sandwich. Both didn't make it home, but the fries went first.
Same. So I do this thing. I just did it yesterday. I go to this place called Roro's Chicken.
Yeah, Roro.
It's so dope. But I always get it to go. I sit in my car and I devour the entire thing. And I haven't even left the parking space. I don't know. And I do it every time. It's like I have these weird, odd tendencies, and I just like roll with it and don't even question why I'm at a grocery store eating, organic cookies. For free.
And not paying for them, by the way. Just throwing that out there. He still hasn't paid for one of those organic cookies.
Sure haven't. And I think I've said this before, but if you have not tried the nut butter filled Cliff Bars, they are orgasmic. And so I just went to this natural foods convention, which we can also talk about. But if you put these Cliff Bars in the toaster oven, they were doing this at the convention, it's like a Hot Pocket with melted chocolate inside. It's the greatest thing ever.
All right.
That was a freebie.
All right, so now we're all hungry again. Instead of thinking about what came out of our stomach, we want to go back in. Very nicely done, Potts. We'll take a break. When we get back, we're getting into March Madness, baby, but we're not doing it how you think. We're not talking basketball. I want to talk about the generational differences when it comes to things like fantasy football, filling out a bracket, doing things online. My father is the worst. I love him to death. He's the worst at this, and I want to know what we are going to become the worst at very soon. It's probably Snapchat. We'll do that next. It's Lucdogg in the morning.
At LITN.
Marinate Restaurant puts a unique twist on fast casual dining by starting with only the freshest ingredients to slow-cook delicious melodies of taste and colors that are sure to delight your senses. Whether you're craving the Chipotle pulled pork sliders, honey basil chicken tacos, or the infamous kitchen sink wrap, Marinate has something for everybody with tons of vegetarian options too. It's the perfect choice of catering for your offices or events with fast and friendly service from a brand new store on Melrose and Wester. Stop by today, or you can order online at marinateyourlife.com.
Yay for Taco Tuesday! Don't forget, buy one, get one free. All damn day!
Tacos, wraps, sliders, and sides. Slow cooked to perfection at Marinate Restaurant. marinateyourlife.com.
Welcome back, folks. It is Lucdogg in the morning, doing a little production behind the scenes here. We've got Jack LaBelle, senior writer for Soapbox Sports, about to call in just a moment. But first, we have a lot of texts flying in today, so fantastic job by the texters. Again, if you want to interact with the show, it's 571-354-7338. Hashtag drunk revenge. Texter writes in, even farmers are against it now. Weird habits. Definitely put mashed taters on the steak. My burgers fries comment was about the past Friday show and weird tendencies and habits. Look at that for timing. There we go. Well done, texters. We appreciate you. Let's go. Why am I not getting anything? I'm on. Jack! There he is. Jack LaBelle, ladies and gentlemen, from Soapbox Sports.
Send a voicemail. Press 2.
How are you, sir? Jack, hello, man. What's up?
What's up, guys? It's been a while.
There he
How have
is.
you guys been?
Dude, great.
Sorry.
We've been great, man. It's great to see you. And we have a whole lot of stuff going on in the NFL, but we got to get to the March Madness. But what do you think about all these trades going on? Sorry, that was a really sloppy intro. Jack, I'm really sorry. That was sloppy on my
Jack
end.
from Soapbox Sports.
There we go.
So what's up, dude?
It's been a ridiculous. It's just been a ridiculous time. It's a great time to be a sports fan, no matter where you are, especially if you're a Vikings fan. Getting Kirk Cousins for $84 million guaranteed. It's got to kind of suck to be a Redskins fan right about now.
Nope. I'm glad. I think we made the
guys-
right move, Jack.
Yep, they're all
You think you
off
made the
the
right
train.
move?
Yeah,
Not
well, I
spending
mean,
$30 million a
if we're
season.
going to have a mediocre quarterback, at least we get one that we don't have to pay record money to.
Who's our quarterback?
I think Alex Smith got, what was it, 60 or 70
right.
million guaranteed. He got a 4-year, $120 million deal, I think it was. It might be a little less than that, 4 years and $96 million. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I know, Smith and Cousins are two different quarterbacks, but I think Cousins gives you more of a upside than Smith does.
Yes or no, the Vikings will be back to at least where they were, which is the NFC Championship game next year with Kirk Cousins.
I think so. I think the Vikings with Cousins have a 2-year window. So the contract Kirk Cousins got was 3 years, $84 million. Every single dollar was guaranteed. The Vikings don't have a lot of free agents leaving in the next couple of off seasons. They are losing Stephon Diggs, Anthony Barr, and Brian Robinson are their key guys they're losing next offseason, but they'll still have the majority of their core in place. I think the NFC, you can make an argument for 14 of the 16 teams making the playoffs.
And one of those
Obviously, only
teams he's
16
missing
can
out
get in,
on.
but you can make that argument. But I think the Vikings, based on their roster, they'll get to the NFC Championship game where, as of now, they'll lose to the Los Angeles Rams.
So, Jack, technically today is day one of the season. Everything becomes official today. So who has made the best move so far that's not the Kirk Cousins deal when it comes to any of the offseason signings?
As far as improving their team?
Yeah.
As far as improving their team, it's got to be the Chicago Bears. They signed Allen Robinson, who he tore his ACL last season, but he was a pretty good receiver for the Jaguars, and Mitch Trubisky needed the target. They signed him. They signed Trey Burton. Trey Burton was probably best known for his touchdown pass to Carson Wentz in the Super Bowl.
They also
He's
signed.
going to help out the team a lot. He's a great run-blocking tight end as well, which is very underrated. They re-signed Prince Amukamara. He's a solid corner. They re-signed Cameron Meredith. He's a solid wide receiver. And they signed Taylor Gabriel, another underrated signing. They have the running game in place. Sorry.
No. I was going to say Jack LaBelle from Soapbox Sports. We got to get you out of here quick. I want to make sure we get your March Madness thoughts, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're coming up on time. So what are your thoughts on March Madness? You got any like insiders for us?
I did a coin flip bracket where I had Radford going to the Final Four, so that was interesting. But in real time, it's going to be the Duke Blue Devils cutting down the nets over the Arizona Wildcats.
Boo.
Duke against the Wild. Arizona amongst all the scandal. Wow. All right, cool. Well, you got anything else for us, bud? We always appreciate where you go when you come on the show. So soapboxsports.com is where you can find him. He's the senior writer over there, and Belly does also run that with him. So, Jack, anything else before we let you go, bud?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a while. Hopefully I can call in again soon. Be sure to check us out at soapbox_sports at Twitter. And don't forget to follow the show at litmradio.com.
Look at him go, Jack LaBelle. Thank you, sir. Very well done. That's fantastic. Thanks for the call, man. He's the best. And really, we love doing that. I know we're not a sports show. If you guys want to peel back the curtains a little bit, Potts, how much do you love talking sports on this show?
Not
only when
all,
I'm not here.
Only when Belly's not here. And if you didn't answer because we did the joke over Potts, his answer was not at all.
But it's kind of cool to have Jack because it seriously feels like I'm listening to ESPN.
Yep.
It's literally like every sports analyst. Like he just can spit out facts and like it's nothing, and he's like a robot. He's just like it's literally like an ESPN sports analyst.
Whether they're
really
true
cool,
or not.
No, I mean it's funny because he is the man. He's got kind of like that idiot savant sports knowledge, which is really awesome, and we appreciate his time. So check out soapboxsports.com. Is it soap underscore? What's
Soapbox Soapbox underscore sports.
There it is. Soapbox underscore sports for Twitter. So check them out. They're awesome. And thanks again to him. And we're just not a sports show. We tried to do this. I was going to peel back the curtains. We did sports on Sunday mornings for 106.1.
Like 5 months.
For like 5 months in Richmond. Like live, we would tape the show on Friday and then they would air it on the radio on Sunday mornings in Richmond on the only FM station for sports. And we hated it. I mean, we loved them. There's nothing to do with them. It's just it felt like we were jamming a round peg into a peg into a square hole.
That's
and it sounded like that. Didn't that sound like a pig? Do that laugh again. Holy hell. So yeah, no, it was like we like doing we like calling Jack every now and then if you're a new listener to the show, which a lot of you are. That's about the amount of sports that we get into because now I want to talk March Madness, but not about the sports side of it.
But not about the sports side of it.
I mean, I can't wait. It's going to be great. You know what you're going to do. You're going to have fun. You're going to watch games from noon to midnight. And, you know, if you want to watch analysts talk about it, that's not us. You'll go somewhere else for that. But I want to know, why is it that, like my dad, okay, I love my dad to death. Okay? I'm such a parent's, like you say a mama's boy, I'm a parent's boy. Like my parents are my best friends, right? Mm-hmm. And so for some reason, my dad cannot get into these it's the same thing every year. I invite him to a fantasy football league, and then it's a day on the phone with him trying to figure out how to get him to log into ESPN. And then if we do, this bracket challenge, like one of our buddies is the one that hosts it, so he sends out all the emails, and then I know I block out about a 3-hour time span to help my dad figure this out. My mom knows that she's going to be side by side trying to help figure this out. And it's not his fault. It's like I was talking to him earlier today about it. It's like he just gets so frustrated before it even starts at the idea of having to go through this process again because every year it's some password that he only uses for this time of the year. He doesn't remember it. Right. And it's just this impossible thing. And literally yesterday, all he had to do was click one button. It literally says complete bracket here. And they couldn't figure it out because they were overthinking it. They were thinking it was going to be this impossible process. They're like, but we haven't logged in yet. We haven't typed in a password. It can't be this easy. And I started thinking like, Jesus, what is going to happen for us? Like, when are we going to feel that? Because right now I feel that with Snapchat.
When do we become the old?
Well, not even people? When, but what is the product that's going to make you feel that way?
Right. And before we go too far, next time, can you please just record that conversation?
With Papa Joe? Yeah.
That? Yeah,
sure.
For sure. We need to hear that.
Shout out, Dad. Hi, Dad.
But that's actually a really interesting question because technology is changing pretty fast. I thought that way about Snapchat until I joined. And now, because for me, even the way I talk, it's like a 16-year-old Valley girl. And so Snapchat is literally the app for a 16-year-old Valley girl. Yeah. So it was right up my alley. You can sit. I don't do the filters because that is where I draw the line. I am a straight male. But I do everything.
But Potts, they almost make it old person proof. Like Belly, they make it not intuitive to figure out how to put one of those stupid filters on. Took me like 15 minutes.
A lot of people couldn't figure it out for a while. But, Adam loves the filter.
I love the one with the little... Anyone that changes me into a little animal and then I can be an animated character, oh, God, I'm all for it.
He's all for that.
I love it. So I wanted to say, like, if you think about this, like, okay, what do you got?
What's your favorite animal? Now all I can think about is with cute little bunny ears.
Well, dude, it's the one I sent you. Remember the one I sent you? There was a little ferret, and I was like, marinate your life.
It was like a prairie dog.
Oh, that's right.
So anyway,
no.
I just wanted to say this because the kids now, you know this. If you're a listener of this show, you're probably 30 and above, maybe 25 and above. The kids play. What's the one game that you know kids at like 10 years old play?
Minecraft.
Boom. Okay. Now that is outdated, and that game is now Roblox. Roblox is the game. I don't know. Has anybody heard of this?
No.
Roblox is basically a Minecraft with multiple worlds. Okay. And I'm watching these kids like play these games. Like I saw a kid playing this game on their phone yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, the speed with which they tap stuff. And I mean, I grew up playing video games. I'm not old.
Yeah.
But that made me feel, I think, as frustrated as my dad feels trying to log into goddamn ESPN Bracket Challenge, trying to figure out what it is that she likes about this game that I can't figure it out. It's just this guy running around, and then in the corner, it's some dude talking about what he's playing, and he's got 2.4 million views.
Yeah, the game watching world.
It's absurd.
People streaming and playing games.
But
is
think about that.
Huge.
Wouldn't you have been balls deep in a YouTube channel when you were just getting into Mario and it's just some funny dude playing Mario? I would have been all over that at 10 years old.
Right. I mean, we played, Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt, but now, our friend Annie Cruz is a huge gamer, and there's a website called Twitch where literally you log in and you pay to watch whoever you're a fan of just play video games.
It's crazy, man.
Mind-blowing. And there's a lot of podcasts about it as well.
They make six figures. A lot of the
Who
big
does?
ones.
The YouTubers?
The YouTubers that
playing
do
video
it
games
make six figures off sponsorships and
we were joking.
and also just being paid by subscribers.
We were joking.
Exactly.
Very good. Very good. If you don't know what that is, just Google Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
Funniest 15 seconds in video game history.
It really is.
It's so good. In fact, I'll tell you, it's worth telling. It's a group game. It's one of these, all of you are trying to invade the castle and you're all in a team together. And these kids are talking.
It's called World of Warcraft.
But yeah, so Belly, they're talking back and forth like this. It's like, Belly, I'm going to flank the left. And,
oh, yeah.
And you're going to take the right. We're going to go in on the count of three.
Raids are very organized.
Online.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like wherever, all over the country. And these people have headphones on and they're talking as if they're in this game.
And so, Potts, be ready on the button.
Be
ready on the button when we call for it. So what's happening is these guys are all sitting outside a fence trying to figure out how they're going to attack the castle. And right as they're talking about how they're going to attack it, all of a sudden this dude breaks down the door and just yells, Leroy! And then everybody's like, Leroy, what the fuck, man? Oh, Jesus. Okay, like, no, okay. I'm casting a healing spell. Everybody go, go, go. Send your missiles, go. Jesus, it's a slaughter. We're getting killed. This is fucking terrible. God damn it, Leroy.
God damn it, Leroy. Yep.
That might have been the best minute of radio that we've ever done.
One of the OG trolls, that Leroy Jenkins.
God, that makes me laugh so hard. But it's these things that we're up on video games, but man, I'm curious to see these things that are going to come out soon that are going to make us feel, just totally frustrated at even trying it. Is where I think my dad is. He's just frustrated at the idea of it. This has got to be an impossible process. I'm looking at these.
Well,
kids
it's
play
kind of
video
like
games.
what our grandparents think with email. I've gotten this far in life without it, so do I need it now? And that's kind of how I was with Snapchat. It's like, dude, do I need another app that I need to be addicted to? And the answer was yes. But I mean, I can see how at some point you're like, all right, I'm done. I don't need any more in my life. I'm good. No more distractions.
Yep.
At what point do you become the old dog who learns 0 new tricks? What age is that? All right, we'll come back. We'll have some fun with you. Potts has a whole lot of stuff, and we've got some Stephen Hawking facts for you. We'll do it all next. It's Lucdogg in the morning.
At litmradio.com.
Welcome back, folks. It is Lucdogg in the morning, hanging out with you on TTR Studios channel and YouTube. And, of course, podcasting across all the land. You can catch everything we do at litmradio.com if you are curious, but really just subscribe if you can. Hit that little bell notification if you can. We are really glad that our numbers are growing every day, and it's just been a blast. Thank you for the comments, all the texters coming in. Oh, texter writes in, P.S. That ferret/prairie is my favorite filter of all time. I hope it never goes away. Well, I'll tell you, texter, it's gone. Sorry, but it's already gone. I feel your sadness. That thing was too good, man. But it's gone. So we have
because it wasn't on Snapchat.
I know. That's what happens.
It was on Facebook.
You like something and then it goes away. It's actually genius. Leave them on a high note. Potts, we've got a whole lot to get to here, and we've got a show, of course, on Friday this week, as we always do. Wednesdays and Fridays, 10 a.m. is when we run shows. So can we maybe push your stuff to Friday? Because we've already got to do best wingman stories, and we've got to get to Stephen Hawking facts, which won't be relevant Friday.
Right. Let's do it.
So let's do... All right, that's awesome. So let's do... if you guys don't know, by the way, Matty Potts started with this show as our kind of faux newsman, like a Stephen Colbert kind of, like he used to do the Santa Monica Newsroom. It was an Instagram channel, and we gave him his own intro.
This just in from the Santa Monica Newsroom. It's Matty Potts.
And then he would just drop knowledge on us. And we used to play games like True or False. What do we call that game? He would tell us three stories, and we had to guess which one was fake. Remember
Me
that?
and Kim were really good at it.
Fake news or something.
Fake, yeah. So basically, Potts kind of just started with this show as like a Colbert kind of spoof newsman. And then we kind of turned him into co-host, and then now we've actually gone away from doing a lot of the news stuff, which I think is better. Your news was great, but your personality and contributions as Matty Potts is just so much better, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's more natural
it's
for
just
me
you.
anyway.
I'd rather. But the spoofs are funny.
I don't even do the newsroom on Instagram anymore either.
Yeah.
I just kind of whatever. It's over it.
Well, now you're at Cocktail Convo, so tell people where they can find the Cocktail Convos of you dressing up and...
Not only that, it's not just Cocktail Convos, but just Matty Potts
dressing in drag.
Food for thought.
All the way.
It's at Shut Up Matty, at Shut Up Matty, _Matty, MATY, shut.
That's not right. Shut _up_ Matty. There it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Underscore's really hard to say.
And Matty is MATY. So let's get to it. We've got to get to Wingman stories because as we introed the show, I was planning on telling the throw up story right here in the C block, but we were talking about how Belly's been really good as an intro. Like I got into a fight with a friend, and I didn't realize, Potts, why this friend was so mad at me. I mean, like literally ready to be like over, like just more mad than I've ever seen, and we've never had a fight before. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's all through texts. I read him the text, and he picked out one word. And because of one word that I didn't think about, that was it.
Can we hear that? Can we hear a segment of
just
that?
Can we make it general, Belly?
I think we can make it general.
We can do
I
that.
would just say, have you ever had a conversation with someone where you, instead of saying something about how you feel, you say, I know. And when you say I know, it's assumptuous in the fact that
I said the words.
This
is when I know I'm being taken advantage of. And I wasn't trying to accuse the person of taking advantage of me. I was trying to say, hey, listen, I'm starting to feel taken advantage of. But boy, did it not come across.
Huge difference between, in that context, I know and I feel. For sure.
And I didn't
one's
think about
accusatory and one's almost like playing, the victim in a way. So
has anyone here been in the I know fight before? Because I sure have.
Take us through it.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, you're having a disagreement with like a significant other and you just kind of say, listen, I know. And it's then saying...
By saying I know, Belly, that's also saying... And
your
you
opinion
don't.
doesn't matter.
And you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
I know, you don't.
Well, also you're taking... it's really interesting you said that because I probably do this a lot, but... You're taking an opinion, and the second you say I know, I feel like in your head you've now made it a fact to yourself. To where now it's like now you're perceiving this as a fact. I guarantee I do that all the time because I'm definitely like a know-it-all, and I'll say I know when I really mean I think or I feel like this is the situation. And you don't realize if you say I know, someone assumes you know what the fuck you're talking about. And now it's a fact.
Oh, it's a definitive statement. When you start throwing out definitive statements like that, it's very easy for things to get misconstrued or just taken the wrong way. Because, boy, I'm over here sitting here thinking I'm telling a friend how I'm starting to feel a little bit frustrated, and why are we not able to have that conversation? That we should be able to have this discussion. But she went straight from 0 to 1,000 because she heard it the way Belly said it, which that's the way I said it. And unfortunately, I didn't word it the right way at all, and I couldn't figure out why. And I read the text to Belly, and he's like, well, dude, it's because you said the word I know, and you didn't come across at all like you were telling her how you feel. You really just kind of sound like you're accusing her of something. And I just went, whoa.
You're accusing your friend of calculatingly taking advantage of
you. Yeah, and
which
that's
is, of
never
course,
what
not
I
the
would
case.
meant. I didn't mean to do that at all. That's not what I was trying to say. I was trying to have an open discussion with a friend saying, hey, listen, I'm starting to feel taken advantage of. I know you would never mean to do that. Can we maybe revisit how we're handling this situation? Boy, it did not come across that way. And so Belly was like wingman number one right there. I couldn't believe it. It's like he saw into my soul.
I wonder.
Tweaked one little string and fixed this whole problem.
Yeah.
How many customers are sitting at Belly's bar just like they're talking to Dr. Phil, by the way?
Yeah, right, therapy.
But bartender, read the text. Just read it one more time. Just tell me what you think.
And I
Belly's
also say things very
on the bar
confidently.
like, well, you really ought to think twice.
Well, yeah, you got to be careful about how you word things. But honestly, so one of my better wingman stories is a friend of mine texted me one day, just says, hey, bud, you want to go out for beers? I'm meeting this girl. She's bringing a friend, and I need someone to come with me. You always need a friend like that can fill in the spot if the girl is not comfortable enough to just go by herself.
Definitely.
Toads.
Well, I'm someone who's very, obviously, it doesn't seem like that, but I'm very conversational. I'm a bartender. I save all my energy for speaking for this and work. So if you ever catch me outside of that,
oh, he moves nowhere fast.
I move nowhere fast. I'm a slow walker.
No, he says it. I'm like, dude, are you hungry? You want to go get some food? He's like, I'm moving slow, man. Wherever we get to.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Like, that's just how he is.
And so I end up going out with this friend. We end up going over to his place, and it's just the four of us. And you want to be engaging to the whole. You want, as a wingman, the key is to engage the whole group at once.
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah.
You choose the times to divert into sections. And you choose the time. The wingman gets to direct almost the whole entire night, which is a lot of fun for me. I love being the wingman.
Yeah, but then isn't that also going to make the girls more attracted to you?
Oh yeah, but that's the goal. So here's the thing.
Belly is the worst wingman.
So no, because
because you're amazing. But haven't you said this before? You've been accused of being a bad wingman.
Well, I'm not accused of being a bad wingman. My problem is that I can steal a scene.
He's got eyes that will stare through your soul. I don't care who it is. My ex, my ex told me yesterday that she even was like stuck in her tracks when she saw his eyes because they're like pale blue.
You can see, I can see it in guests when girls are talking to me at the bar.
Right.
I can see when they see it.
And they just freeze. It literally sticks people. Like I've seen it. Okay, and I don't even have it. I've seen like happen to Belly. But that can, if you have an insecure friend who's trying to hit on some girl and the girl all of a sudden is like smitten by your eyes and your deep voice and your slow chill attitude.
That's why you focus primarily on the friend. You don't divert your energy.
And now you're ignoring her. She's gonna watch even more.
No, so you then gear the conversation towards where she's talking to the other dude, man, and you got to just let it. You got to let.
So
it flow
did the girl get? Did you get him laid?
Yes, and then I also got laid.
No, wow. Fantastic job. So the rules for Belly's rule of wingmanning: talk to the group as a whole, conduct the group, and then focus on the friend,
and then separate to the point where the friend is feeling you. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's good to show for the friend. It's good to show that he has like interesting friends.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, oh, this person. He seems very interesting.
Well.
He's very conversational. He's smart. He knows what he's talking about.
If you go out wingman and also
the situation at ease.
Go ahead, Potts. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Take us from the yours.
No, I'm always down for that kind of situation where the friend and my friend are involved because then I feel like it puts the girl that I'm with, it puts her at ease, makes her comfortable. So I'm always down for like the little. It's not even really a double date. It's like a double where you both bring a wingman essentially.
Yeah.
But for me, I've always used the wingman thing. But what I do is I just go straight for the kill. I say go to a girl, and instead of saying like, hey, do you want to go on a date? I'll be like, hey, I've got to go to this thing tomorrow night. You want to be my wingman? Because, I really don't want to go alone. And that works all the time.
But you're actually interested in the girl, though.
Right.
Now, how do you not get friend zoned there? Because you're setting up the playing field for a friend zone.
Well, because the second we go, I make that now. That's the easy part. Once you
tell us, we need to learn from you.
Well, it would change by the situation, but you're you're going somewhere, getting dressed up, you're having drinks, they're always going to be involved. And then, I just start flirting. I don't know. I've been on a kind of a flirt role lately too, where I don't know. I've been able to put myself in this mind frame where I was just at traffic court a few days ago, and I picked up a girl as we were standing in line to pay our court fees. And we were in the same court. We both had the same charge, crossing a double yellow line. And then when we went down to the cashier, I started chatting her up and got her number, and we're like going out tonight.
Yes,
so it's
sir.
like, I don't know. It's just weird. I've just been in this frame where it's like, if you are not thinking about, like, you're just going into it like you don't care. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, no, it's good. You have a good quality about you where you can kind of talk to anybody. And if anybody is not like that in the audience, if you need to get better at connecting with people, because I think that's something that I do well, it's something that Belly does well, and something that Potts does well. I'll tell you when we do something that sucks, you know that. But something that I can tell you definitively we all do well is connect with people. That's why we do radio. We like to connect with the people in our lives. I talk to every cashier that rings me up. And I'm telling you, if you're not good at this, it's a skill. It's something that you're not born sucking at it. Like, you can get better at it. You're not condemned to being terrible at connecting with people. You just try to go out of your comfort zone a little bit, and there's little ways to do that. Like, literally try to just talk to a cashier. When you get to a cashier, just say the words, "How's your day going?" and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, just see what happens. Because I know my friend told me that when we were about 15 years old. My best friend was like, dude, I'm starting to like talk to cashiers and stuff, and it's making me better at like talking to people. And I was like, really? And I started doing it, and it works.
Talk to your bartender if they're not busy.
Yeah, anybody in your day. Try to make a lasting effect. When you leave, they'll remember you. See if you can do that.
I try to do that with every guest that walks into my bar anytime.
And that's why
he's late. Never forget me.
Because I hate talking to people. Like, I have friends that are like that, where they talk to everybody and start a conversation with everybody. And a lot of times I don't have the energy for it, but I see how it changes that person's demeanor, the person that he's talking to, where if you ask someone how their day is going, like, this guy will give people random hugs. He just is that kind of guy. And
is this Mike?
Yeah, of course it's Mike.
Yeah, of course it is.
And people can't believe, once they get over the shock of, okay, this person is invading my personal bubble, right? But because it's not normal practice, then they love it. And you see, it's kind of a shame where our society is, because people's first instinct is a bad assumption, as opposed to, oh, this person's going to come and give me a hug. Like, wouldn't it be cool if our first assumption was this person's going to give me a hug and not like stab me? Like, that'd be cool.
He did it to me. He did it to me. Yeah, I came out. Remember, I came out to visit you. I've never seen this guy in my life. I don't know who the hell he is. I don't know him from Adam. He's literally just some dude that Potts is friends with. And he gets out of his car, and I'm walking, and he just gives me a bear hug. Hey, what's up, man? Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
What the hell?
Right.
But it was awesome. Like,
Mike doesn't call me by my name.
No,
he only calls me best friend.
That's their friendship. Hey, best friend, what's going on? You want to get some lunch?
He's like that sounds like a very girl-like relationship.
It's
you guys have.
We're the three best friends that anybody could have.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and like whenever I call him, he'll sing to me. He sings to me. He does not. He'll be like, "Come all ye best friends."
So if we could leave the listeners with something, I think to take away from this, that's the best way I think to flirt and to hit on hit on girls or guys or whoever you're hitting on. That you just want to connect. If you come across like you're trying to get something out of that conversation, it's over from the start. I think Potts goes into it. The reason he's been successful, what it sounds like, what I'm hearing, he didn't give a fuck. He's just over there IDGAF, right? And, okay. Don't you have that tattooed on your tongue?
DGAF, yeah.
I'm not kidding. He has that tattooed on his upper lip. Or lower lip. DGAF. And so if you just go out of it, the next time you see a girl you want to approach, go up to her and don't try to get something out of it, like her number or a date. Go into it trying to connect to her. That's it.
Right. So, and that's a great point. I didn't get this girl's number. I asked her for her Instagram. So if she didn't, so I could friend request her. And if she didn't want to accept me, she didn't have to. So it was no drama. I didn't ask for her number. I feel like
is that like giving someone your card in LA?
Yeah, that is
asking
how
for
you,
their Instagram.
That's good, Belly. That is good.
What?
It's
is
like,
it's like yeah, completely.
What's your
completely.
business card here? What's your Instagram?
Well, and then they ask you, they're like, well, which account do you want, my business or personal?
You know, it's funny that you guys say that, Belly, because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who said that her best friend is an actress in LA, and they tell her she's got to post something every day, a picture of her face every day. You got to keep it, and that's like, is that
you have to be engaged?
Right, that sounds right, Potts? I mean, that's just how it is out there, and she was saying how she feels so stupid doing it sometimes. Like, God, like, I mean, that's 365 selfies a year.
Yeah. Pass.
I mean, there's people. I'm looking at Instagram, obviously, with a few, like 3,000 posts. I mean, can you imagine seriously, that's years every day. That's one a day for years. That's two a day for years. It's just an obscene amount of picture posting. But yeah, I mean, I do the same thing. So whatever.
So before we get out of here, Belly and I are sitting here back and forth. I'm like,
yeah,
music.
what are you guys doing?
Because I was like, that's a good ending point. I'm all about the timing. I'm like, that's the ending point. Bam. If we play music right now, it would be a smooth ending. However,
we have mentioned
Belly's
something
looking
a
at
few
me going,
times, and would feel reserved, like terrible if we didn't get to it.
Well, yes, thank you. So go ahead, take it away.
So today is Pi Day, folks. But unfortunately, on today's Pi Day, there's a little bit of sad news. Stephen Hawking, theoretical physicist, someone who has opened the minds of a lot of people in this world, has passed away. Of course, he passes away on the infinite day of Pi Day.
314.
Right, 3.14. Obviously, he's best known for his works in theoretical physics, space, time, everything that kind of makes you question
quantum physics. Is that right?
He's every part of it, mostly theoretical, but he's always dabbled in every part of science. He's very open to everything in the science world. And
do we have any contributions that we can speak of? Like, I just want to know like what he was known for, because to me he's always, I hate saying this, he's known as the guy who kind of has the robot voice. I know he's smart.
Right.
I'm not trying to be insensitive.
A lot of work with black holes, space.
Because mostly where you've learned about him is from cartoons, from his always jumping in. He's been on shows like Big Bang, Simpsons.
Sure. I mean, he had a good sense of humor
Futurama.
about
him. Would you want to live till 76 like he did though?
I don't know, man. I can't speak to that. Like you would. It's an easy answer to say no. This is such a tough thing to end a show on, so we'll probably just go ahead and spend about 30 seconds on it. No, but it's true. It's like you want to say no, that would be tough, but I mean, maybe he found a way to enjoy it. Dude, we talked to a guy on the One Wheel podcast yesterday, the voice of One Wheel. This dude was in the military, Potts, and it's bugging me. How do we get his? Can you move your face at all? Like, yes, there we go, so we can see. There you were just off camera. This guy was in the military. He literally fought combat in Iran. Then he came back and was an adrenaline junkie. Needed to find something that wasn't illegal. He said that could give me the same fix.
Right.
So he got into parachuting. He fucking comes in, dude, or skydiving. He comes in way too hot on a landing at 60, 70 miles an hour and breaks everything of his L5 down in his spine. He's paralyzed from the knees down. Okay. Broke his, like they had to cut his his arteries and his pelvis. Oh my God. So this dude forced himself to learn how to one wheel.
Now he's a one wheeler.
He one wheels, dude. He started out trying to figure. He's like, dude, I know I can do it. I know I have the physical, from my knees up. I can figure this out. I've snowboarded for 20 years. I'm gonna teach myself. I'm going to get back on. He started using ski poles to balance himself. Then he started dragging the ski poles, and now he rides whenever he wants. And it's just like, you might think like, God, would you want to live paralyzed? Like, no, but that's somebody who is in that situation saying, yeah, you can totally do it, and you can live the life you want to live.
Yeah, and Stephen Hawking did it.
And that is how you end a segment, folks. See, now
that's hitting the post.
That's where we want the timing here, where it's really tough on Belly's point, because he doesn't know when I'm going to end. He has no idea. And he's just got to sit there and play that song. Where is the song, Belly?
The song is...
This is sloppy.
Right there.
Jesus Christ.
Got it.
Victory.
All right, I got to pee. So
yeah, get everybody out of here. This has been a fun day. Thanks for hanging out. No. But Matty Potts, what do you got left for the people?
That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a great day, and you can kindly go fuck yourselves.
See you, bud. There he goes. Matty Potts from the Santa Monica Newsroom, and we will see you guys and him on Friday. Belly, what do you got to leave the people with today?
That's it. Just so you all know, for Pi Day, pie is always better than cake. No questions about it.
Apple, pumpkin, cherry, chocolate. all the pies you want.
Boysenberry.
Boysenberry even. All right, we'll do that too. So thank you guys for hanging out. It's your boy Lucdogg here at TTR Studios. For all of us, Belly, Matty Potts, and everybody behind the scenes, Clyde, and all of you, everybody, thank you. We'll see you guys on Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, channel TTR Studios. Thanks for hanging out. It's Lucdogg in the morning.
At litmradio.com.